Hey people, I so I've been reading another book, and I've been reading it over and over again. Seems like every day or so I read it 2 or 3 times. It's called Corduroy's Christmas Surprise. We've been reading it ever since the beginning of December, and it seems to still contain lessons that all of us would do well to revisit. But there's actually something in this book. It was just sitting here when I walked out to do my post, and I realized, but I had a sense of what I wanted to do my post on. And this book is actually, hilariously, because this is The Matrix, exactly in line with what my post was going to be, because in this book, Curdoroy writes a letter to Santa asking for all these things. And then he gets together with his friends, and then by being with his friends, he hears them talking about what they want for Christmas, and he realizes, oh my God, I wrote a letter that has all these things in it that my friends wanted. I'm going to write another letter to Santa and ask for the presents for them. And it's, a really kind of a nice way of communicating someone's transition from selflessness to self-oriented desire to more selfless desire. And what I was going to do my post about today, what I am doing it about right now, is this idea of relationship as a mirror. I was talking to one of my students this morning about what we can see in ourselves. I was talking about this phenomenon that I noticed when I was in theater school in London. I was, I went to London International School of Performing Arts. We learned devised theater. You're creating a piece from scratch essentially every day. You're creating a new piece, and then you're performing them a couple times a week. One of my big lessons was people very often, especially young artists, and myself included in this bunch, we are not always aware of what we're creating. So in other words, we'll be making a piece about one thing, and it turns out it's actually about something else. It's like our subconscious, and the way that we know that is because that's what the audience sees. From the audience, you can always tell what the theme really is, and you can also, it's really kind of an interesting thing to see an artist on stage, a performer, doing something, and you can see that they think they're doing the thing that they think they're doing, but you can see right through it to a deeper theme that's being subconsciously expressed. It's kind of coming through them. It's coming through the piece. It's coming through them. It's coming through the other. It might be a group of people. Sometimes it's a collective thing. But that was really revelatory for me. That you don't always know what you're actually creating. And one of the real disciplines as an artist, I think, is to be continually getting a reflection and continually checking in with other people about, getting a reference point for what am I actually doing, because having witnessed that over the course of a 2-year program, seeing every single week people think they're doing one thing and then they're actually not, they're doing something else, and having that experience myself, that really taught me something about the nature of creativity, for one thing, and the nature of the creative process as a mirror, and also the spiritual process, because there's so many ways in which we do this individual work. We meditate, we maybe we work with a psychologist, maybe we work with a spiritual teacher, maybe we have a guy that who does shamanic work around money. Who knows what your process is, but we do a lot of things that are self-reflective, or a reflection with another, kind of a guiding individual, therapist, whatever. But there's a kind of reflection that you really only get from relationship. You really only get it from other people. And that's just really key. It's kind of coming through for me today. That's what kind of flashed for me as the inspiration for today's post, was recognizing the value and the importance of relationship as a form of, I mean, spiritual practice sounds a little weird to call it that, but that's essentially what it is. It's a way of getting a spiritual reflection from the world, from another human being that's not seeing the world through your filter. You know, we all see the world through our filter. I don't care how much we meditate. I don't care how much we how much we do a spiritual practice. We can become increasingly enlightened. We can for sure become very, very centered in the presence of Source, very, very conscious, very identified with consciousness as opposed to the ego. All of that, yes. And as long as we're in the world, we're seeing through this filter of my body, my mind, and that's kind of hard to get free from completely, and having other people reflect to us what's going on, especially other people that we can really trust, people who are doing the work and also like on a similar kind of journey with a willingness to invest and be vulnerable themselves and take their ego out of the equation in terms of giving someone else a reflection. That's just an invaluable aspect of this whole journey, because it's just so, it's something that's so, it's like there's this a kind of deep gratitude that I always feel whenever I feel like that happens, and it happens, you know, constantly with you know, within a partnership, within a marriage, within close friendships, even within a family. And I think I'm just sort of affirming that, and also encouraging myself to remember that. You know, my post the other day about the letting go process of David Hawkins and trying to maintain that presence throughout even like an argument with Katie or whatever, finding a way to be genuinely grounded in that knowledge that any negative thing I'm feeling is actually coming off of me, and then taking that into a situation where I'm, for whatever reason, being triggered or feeling defensive or, you know, feeling attacked. That whole, all of that, the sum total of that whole process gives me such a massive amount of insight if I'm willing to stick with it. I mean, of course, you could, somewhere in there, you could just go unconscious and kind of bat it away, repress it, or, you know, explode and sort of like need to go away and not look for a while. But if you can hang in there, then there's a way in which relationship and that kind of reflection just become so vastly revelatory. And I think I'm just feeling appreciation for that, and reminding myself to trust that, you know, to lean into it and trust it. It's kind of like Curdoroy. Curdoroy goes to his friend's house and he realizes, oh my God, I'm selfish. I don't want to be selfish. I want to not be selfish. You know? Anyway, that's what I got today. Love you all. Thank you for being in my life. Thanks to everyone who's posting about my piano business. That's super fun. Gonna have a lot more of those coming very shortly. So thank you for being in my life. Much love to everyone, and I look forward to talking to you very soon.